What's up, everybody? So we're back out in the shop, and today we're going to be working on the handle scales on the 3-beveled Tonto. Now this one has the false edge towards the top, and then it's got the OD green, so olive drab green scales with the 1/8 inch thick black liners, and then it's got 3/16 micarta pins on it. Now we did the same theme where the lanyard hole right here is exposed, so the file is exposed right there. Definitely cool looking. Now this is of course super thick right now. We're going to take a lot of this off. We're going to take some of it off with the bandsaw, and then we're going to take and do the rest of it by hand on, most of this is actually going to be done on the oscillating spindle sander, just like I did the last one. But the difference is I'm going to try and do I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to texture the handle. So I'm going to make it to where you take the smallest drum that goes on that and you just grind into it and you put little divots in it. So I'm going to do that all over. I'm not really going to try and do a pattern. I'm just going to kind of go with it and just make it like feel comfortable in the hand. But that is the goal for today. Hopefully it turns out awesome. This is my first time actually doing the technique that I'm going to be doing on here, and it's going to be interesting because I'm only going to be like doing all the sanding with that, and it's not really going to let me go through and then hand sand it after that very well. So it's going to be interesting. This is not going to be a super hot polished handle. It's going to be probably about a 220 grit finish on it, and I will hit it with the buffing wheel just to kind of, you know, make it a little bit smoother to feel in the hand. But a lot of this is going to be just me winging this and seeing what I can do. So let's go ahead, let's jump into it, and you know, see how it turns out. Let's get it. So I went ahead and took the 2x72 and just ground the spine flat to get rid of any excess material or glue that was on it. You don't want this to rock side to side whenever you're cutting a straight line like this, because you might cut more off the belly and less off the spine, or vice versa, because it's able to angle when it's rocking side to side. You want to keep it nice and square, so whenever you're cutting, you've got a nice 90-degree angle, and it's just perfect. And I went ahead and took the pieces that I cut off and just made sure they were the same size, and they were, which is pretty cool because I did this completely by eye, did not measure it. Now we're going to take a 40 grit belt on the 2x72 and just flatten the sides of the scales. You always want to start with a nice square flat set of scales whenever you go to start contouring and things like that. You want to make sure that they're even on both sides, that they're perfectly flat, so that when you start contouring, it has the best result possible. If you don't take the time to do this, you're going to end up with lopsided scales, or one scale that's wider than the other, and you want to take your time on parts like this just to make sure that your end product is A+ quality. Now I went ahead and did a little test on here and did some grooves. I was planning on recording that. I thought the camera was recording, it was not. So we're just going to go ahead and continue from this point. Now, we're just trying to space these out as even as possible. I've never really done this before, so this is purely just me winging it and seeing if it ends up working out right. But I go through and I do all the ones on the belly of the handle. And then I just start seeing where I want to work it a little bit on the spine area and try to start spacing them out evenly as I'm going through it. And I'll tell you, doing this is absolutely awesome because it's something that I haven't done before, and anytime you do something that is not the norm for the things that you do, you get excited about it because new things are awesome. and I really like how this is turning out. You just take the time, try and space everything out as well as you can. I would say next time I will definitely measure and mark each one of these areas that I'm going to be going and grinding in on, so that I know that they're spaced exactly. You know, a lot of this was by eye, but it's my first time doing it, and hindsight's 20/20, at least for the most part. Now, I'm just going to start rocking it over to where I can start bringing those little grooves a little bit over the top of the handle scales and bring it closer to the spine, so that it'll end up being more comfortable in the end. And I do another step after this, actually a couple of steps after this, but right now I'm just trying to get those grooves to match up in the middle of the handle scales, down the center of it, and then I'm trying to get them to start kind of matching up, crossing over the belly and the spine, without digging into the metal itself. Because I'm not trying to put any grooves in that. I want to be perfectly flat. Now we're going to take a 120 grit ceramic belt, and we're going to just round over the side of the handle scales to get the nice contour that we want to be able to hold it in our hand. And then I'm going to take that belt and just refine the spine a little bit and get a nice good finish on it. That 120 grit belt does a great job at putting a nice finish on these spines. Makes the hand sanding part a lot easier later. Now that we got that part done, I'm just going to use the larger drum, and this is me just testing it out to see if this would work, but I'm using this just to make the grooves a little bit wider all the way around it, so that there's not as many sharp peaks. So I'm going to do this, and then I will go back to the smaller diameter drum and use that one to get down into those grooves a little bit more. But this is all for comfort right here. Again, this is me just trying it out to see if this makes sense. It did end up making sense, but sometimes you just gotta go after it and do what you think makes sense in your head. So now we're going down to the drum that is in between that small one that we were using and the last one. This is the one that's right in between that. It's about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And we're going to use this to really define all those little grooves. And at the same time, we're rounding it over, getting it closer towards the spine and the belly where the steel is. And just making sure that we're keeping it comfortable while we're doing that. And every single drum that I've used so far has been an 80 grit drum. This tends to be my favorite grit when it comes to the drums that come with this. I love the 80 grit. I've used 120, 300 grit. I've used all kinds of different grit drums. These tend to expel the most material. They don't gum up as easy as some of the other grits. These do a real good job at being able to stay, I guess you could say, sharp whenever it comes to sanding. Stay gritty. So definitely pretty cool. And I will tell you, take your time when you're doing this. Do not rush, because you can easily mess this up. But the cool thing is, if you do mess it up, you can just kind of make deeper grooves and make it look okay in the end. Now we're just taking a 500 grit and we're knocking off all the tops. I'm not trying to put a 500 grit finish on all of this. It's purely just knocking off the tops and making it more comfortable in the hand. Now when it comes to buffing, we're going to use the green buffing compound on the soft wheel, and we're just going to get into all these grooves and put a nice finish on this. This is not going to be a high gloss finish. I didn't go up real high when it comes to sanding. This is just purely going to be a nice texture, but if you want to call it a brush finish or a satin finish on it, I love the way it turns out, but it's just going purely by personal preference on this, and hopefully y'all will like the end result. Remember, like I always say, take your time when you're buffing like this, because you are handling a sharp object and a wheel that is spinning at a high RPM. You can easily stab yourself in the gut or slash your arms. You don't want to do that. Pay attention. Well guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Now, I'm really excited about how this turned out. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like whenever I started. I kind of just had an idea in my head, and this just happened to work out real well. Is it perfect? No. But is it something that I'm absolutely excited about? Yes. Yes, it is. Now, check this out. I like that you can see the black peeking through the olive drab right there. Then of course the black pins. Love the way this turned out. We still have our file area all right here, and then down the center of that bevel. Then of course the file area back here. I like the way this turned out. And it is very comfortable in the hand. I mean, it is like very, very, very comfortable in the hand. I will be doing another one of these in the future because I really like how this turned out. Like, I can't even explain how much I like that it turned out. I will be doing a few of these now, maybe some on a bigger scale on a few of my other knives I'm going to be making here soon, but that is cool. Guys, y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Again, I think it turned out awesome, but that's just because I got to do it for the first time and it turned out pretty freaking good. But y'all tell me what y'all think about it, and I want to hear y'all's honest opinion and whether y'all think that I should have went this route or if I should have done something different. Like I said, I'm going to be contouring all three of these knives and doing the handle scales all different. So we had the one with the red handle scales that was just real sleek and classic, and it did look like a Swiss Army knife type handle scale. That somebody, a few people had mentioned that, and I agree with that, but I really like the way it looks. I love the way this one looks too. So we got those 3 bevels, and then we have all of this shaping on the handle. Man, that is cool. Guys, that's pretty much the end of this one. If y'all would, give this video a thumbs up, share this video or one of my videos that I've done in the past that might be your favorite, and you know what I'm going to say. Bottom corner, hit that subscribe button so you get notified for when we do the next knife, which is going to be this one right here. So the wood with the mallard green liners on it. So we're going to have that one coming up. And we will be having a car vlog as well. It's going to be happening here soon. But guys, that's it. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for checking this video out. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.